Hello, it's Melinda from Alexis and Melinda's Art Space. Hello, it's my favourite time of year. It's Halloween, or nearly is. Um, Tonight I decided to make some stamps and have a play with my Geli Plate. Oh, any excuse to get my Geli Plate out of its box. I haven't used it for a while, so I'm itching to have it again. Um, so I'm just running some sticky back to kids fun foam. It's a mouthful and a half through the die cut machine and using my dies, and this will turn them into stamps. So this is a great way to extend your scrapbooking stash. Kids Fun Foam make awesome stamps. So just, even though it was adhesive fun foam, I am sticking more glue, just some, that's Express It glue, onto the pieces, just to give them a bit more bite onto the cardboard. And just using some offcuts of 1.8mm cardboard from my business. You can use corrugated cardboard. You can basically stick them onto anything. You just need a place for them to, something to hold the foam stamps while you stamp them. I love that pumpkin, he's so cute. So it's a great way to utilise your dies and make them stretch further. So just showing you, I matched up the matched up the foam pieces with the cardboard, so I didn't want like huge pieces of cardboard and little stamps in the middle. And you want to give them time to dry as well, so I left these overnight before I actually gel plated with them. Just make sure the glue is nice and tight and it doesn't, the fun foam doesn't move when you're putting it onto the gel plate. So a lot of these first ones I just stick down as they come off the die, and then others I stick a few more on to make patterns and things. I love this skull too. That skull is just so cute. Cute Day of the Dead skull. I use that a lot in my crafting. So what I'm actually doing tonight is I will be making some pattern papers and background papers on my gel plate for use in some Halloween journals and upcoming projects. I may not get to the projects this year, but I had fun making my papers. I had great intentions, and I'm sure everyone has great intentions. Oh, I love my little skeleton too. Has great intentions, and then I find I do a part of the project, and then I never get back to the actual project. So I had a great mind. I wanted to make a journal with these Halloween papers, and it's nearly the end of October, and I don't think it's going to get done. So maybe it will be a next year's project. They'll stay nice and safe. I think I need to start working on, oh, I love this one. This technically wasn't a Halloween die. I don't know what sort of die this was. It's like a tree. But I did want to use it. I thought it looked creepy. So I cut that one as well. So definitely look through your dies and see if there's ones that you can utilise for other things. So they don't have to be traditionally Halloween. So playing here with some fangy mouse, oh, mouse with fangs, vampire teeth, that's what I'm trying to look for. So just playing around with placement of where I want to stick them, or what sort of pattern I want to add them to the chipboard. Wanting them sort of be more like a pattern, but around a random pattern, so I didn't want them to be exactly spaced apart. I'm not a perfectionist. I wish I was, but I'm not. So these eyes looked awesome as well. So you manage to get 3 pieces when you cut the eyes. You get the eyeball, the background, and then you get that the ring with like the, looks like blood vessels. So this was really cool. This stamp turned out awesome. It looks a bit cross-eyed the way I did the eyes, but that makes him even more creepy. So certainly if you don't have a die cut machine to cut the fun foam, you can just cut it with scissors, trace a pattern onto it, or trace a shape onto it. But these are great to make for gifts for people. If you know they don't have a die cut machine, you can cut them from fun foam and they can make them into stamps, or they can just use the pieces. So there's all my stamps. And then I decided to play, this was the inner squiggle that come out of the Sugar Skull's head. So I decided to, why not waste that. I will make that into a stamp as well. So nothing goes to waste. And I forgot to stick this one. on. So I'm only using one layer of fun foam. You can layer it up if you wanted to put 2 layers on top, but I find one was sufficient for what I wanted to do. So here comes the fun part, the gel plate. So just showing you the paper there that I'm gel plating on. It's greaseproof paper from Woolworths Supermarket. It's the closest equivalent I can find to deli paper in Australia, and I'm just showing you there it has a shiny side and a plain side. I always print onto the plain side, the flat matte side, and the shiny side I stick down to my project. So just using acrylic paint, just some old acrylic paints. I'm using I think that's 5x7, or it's about a half an A4 sheet size, paper wise. And what I found here is I had to actually go back and trim some of the waste cardboard around the shapes because I was picking up the paint and I didn't want that. So it works so much better when I trim off the waste cardboard. I don't have to do that to all of them, but some of them I do. So when I'm doing this, I'm sort of getting 2 things for one. I'm getting the stamped image, so every time I stamp into the black, you can't really, oh there you can see it, I've sort of picked it up and shined it towards you. So you're moving the paint, and the reason we stamp off onto the paper each time is you don't want to just move the paper from one place to the other, you actually want to remove it. So actually get a couple of good prints off that one. Even if they're not good prints with the gel plate, you can use it as backgrounds, you can cut them up. A lot of my papers I use and collage anyway, so I'm not looking for absolutely perfect gel plated pictures. So here I'm just using some white paint to pick up all the black paint that I had on the plate. So I love some of these effects, they make really cool backgrounds. Great thing about gel plating is you can't actually create the same print twice. It's a mono printing process, so it's one print. Even though I sometimes can pull 2 prints off the plate, 2 separate pieces of paper, they will always be different with the amount of paint and stuff that's on them. So this time I decided I wanted to cut around it before I actually start putting paint on. It's a bit easier than trying to do it with the wet paint. But as I said, I love how this stamp turned out. I've used this one a lot. It just is creepy. So the images I'm stamping on the deli paper, I will cut those out and use them to embellish art journal pages. Art journal pages. I may use them in collage as well. That greaseproof paper that I showed you in the start, it acts like deli paper, and if you've not heard of deli paper, it's like what you get your sandwiches wrapped in. It's thicker than a tissue paper, but it's thinner than like a greaseproof paper, and the paper almost disappears when you adhere it down. Like a paper napkin, if you adhere it down, it almost disappears. So I'm doing some of my prints on the thin greaseproof / deli paper as well. It's really cheap. I believe you get 30 or 40 meters for under $2 in Australia, so it's an awesome paper to work with. The problem when I jelly plate, and this is the major problem that I think everybody has, is I get carried away, and I can't just make 1 or 2 prints. I have to make 1 or 2, well, not 1 or 200, but probably usually end up with about 40 or 50 prints, because while I've got paint out, I just keep going and going. And before I know it, I do end up with quite a pile of prints. You also notice when I do roll out my paint is I roll the paint onto an extra sheet of paper. Now, some people roll the paint over and over and over and make a big muddy mess. I like to make just sort of stripy designs, and then I can again use that paper in collage or something like that. Or I can use them in a background as an art journal page. So I don't tend to waste anything when I jelly print. I love how the skeletons turned out. They're really cool. So again, just trying to clean up the black paint with some white. You don't have to necessarily use white, you can use just a lighter colour. and it just drags off all the crusty bits of paint, and you get some really cool sort of backgroundy results as well. I never actually physically wash my gel plate. I'm a lazy crafter. I will wash the brayer because that unfortunately does get caked with paint, but I do not wash the gel plate. That's one of the sheets I'm talking about that I just do lines on, and they're really cool to use as well. Oh, eyeballs, had to try the eyeballs. Now, I don't actually try every stamp on camera because I would keep you here all night, and I think 15 minutes of watching me and talking to me talking to you. Oh, I'm getting tongue-tied. I'm doing a bunch of videos at the moment to get them up and scheduled for the end of October because I've got a very busy period coming up, so I'm trying to take advantage of that. So after you sit here and do a couple of videos in a row, it gets very monotonous. And you go a bit loopy. And especially because, do you really want to know what time it is at night? Hey, it's not actually as late as I thought it was. It's 10:47. I thought it would be at least 12:30. I love how the eyeballs turn out. That is just awesome. I don't know, it's just something about the eyeballs. I've used that particular die in another art journal page, and it just looks awesome. I wish I could craft Halloween all year round. Maybe next year I'll start earlier, because I tend to get to Halloween and think I'm going to make all these amazing projects, and as I said at the start, some of them just don't get finished because I just don't get time. August is a huge month, and the lead up to August is a huge month in my work business. And then I had a huge event this year in September. 3 weeks after my big event, I had another big event. And it just zapped all my time. And by the time I come to October, I've had many trips to Melbourne. Also within the last couple of months, nearly almost every week. For some reason or another, I'm in Melbourne, which is a 2-hour train trip away. For appointments, for like a 10-minute appointment, it's a real annoying to go 2 hours down to Melbourne and 2 hours back. But in that, we have to add some shopping into it as well, so it's not so bad. So we've just been extremely uber busy. It's just, and everything seems to happen in the same week. Things will cluster together. Like there'll be a couple of weeks where we go, great, the calendar's looking nice and empty. And then everyone sends me letters for appointments and meetings and things, and the calendar fills up, and it's like, oh my god, I've got something on every day and 2 and 3 times a day. It's just, it's crazy. Is anyone's life getting like that? It tends to come all at once. And half the appointments I have, you can't change. You can't ring up and change them and say, can I have that in a different day because I've got to be somewhere else. Back to gel plating. I've had my whinge. So I'm doing the lady's face. This one I love as well, the skeleton lady face. So when I was stamping on the tissue paper, I was keeping in mind I may want to cut out the individual images, so I was leaving a bit of space between them. But I also was doing the repeating patterns because I thought I might use it as a background as well. I was unsure how I was going to use it. Mainly today I was wanting to create some of the 5x7-ish or half an A4 sheet of paper journal type pages. I was using just A4 copy paper and this deli paper and intentions of making a journal. But definitely the ones that I'm stamping off will be used some way. Or gifted out in Happy Mail. That might be a way to deplenish our stack of jelly papers. Alexis and I love jelly printing, and we've got a huge amount. Too many than one girl could ever use in her lifetime. Well, this is the Sugar Skull. This one comes out awesome. So I decided to do some grey, just something different. I do go on after I stopped filming and printed a lot more papers. Just because I thought you didn't need to see me very repetitive and keep going and printing and doing the same sort of thing. I do apologise for the yawning. I haven't yawned a lot in videos lately, but tonight is just, I am tired. I've had a few late nights and just exhausted, but I have to get stuff done as well, so it's just been grin and bear it and get the stuff done. So thank you very much for watching, and let me know if you've made foam stamps, whether you've used dies or whether you have used just hand cut them yourself. They are so much fun. They're fun to stamp in your art journal or use on a gel plate. You can use them basically in any way. I love constructing foam stamps, especially when I make different designs and things unique to me. These glasses are cute. So all the dyes that I used are unbranded dyes from an overseas website. If you are after a particular one, I may be able to find a link for you. Let me know. If not, you can just search that lovely place overseas for Halloween dyes, and most of these designs might pop up. So I'll leave you there with the last couple of minutes. Thank you so much for watching. That was really cool. And I will catch up with you again when I get my gel plate out, or when I do some more Halloween crafting. Or just maybe I'll come in and have a chat. You never know. Give us a thumbs up if you like the gel plating videos, and like and subscribe if you're not a subby. And hello and welcome to all the new subbies as well. I will catch you again later with another video. Bye for now.